Sports Radio 790, The Zone. Fascinating guest, Mike Gilliam here in studio. He's a scholarship coach, but he's really more than that. He's a guy that really has great perspective for what young people are battling in terms of trying to play at the next level or stay involved athletically and handle the academics and everything else. He's also a world-class athlete. He makes me feel a little insignificant when he's in. You work out a bunch as well, I imagine?
A little bit.
You're probably up at like 5 a.m. You done any triathlons or silly things like that?
4 marathons, Boston.
All right, stop that. Yeah. Well, we usually get nice cupcakes up here in the morning, so we got that going for us. Hey, do want to mention, by the way, you have an opportunity coming up at 8:18 this morning. If you tuned in yesterday when we dropped the sports trivia question as part of our 20 trips in 20 days, call us at 8:18 to answer correctly, and you win a trip with Southern Vacation Rentals in Destin. 3 days and 4 nights, courtesy of Vision Airlines, Miller Lite, and 790 The Zone at 8:18. We're not going to qualify or any of that. You're going to win it this morning for you and your family. Visit thezone.com for more information on how you can win.
I'm going to take a couple of calls right here. You were talking about the 0.8 of 1% are the elites. Here's what I also know, that I quoted this before. A few years ago, they actually asked incoming freshmen in football and basketball. They asked incoming freshmen, will you ever get paid? Will you play this sport professionally? 80% in both sports said yes. 80% believed walking in the door that I will be paid to play this sport when I leave this school.
Yeah, well, and I love people that dream. You know, you have to think big and you have to aspire to want to be successful, but the reality is that's not going to happen.
And you're talking about kids, by the way, who are at the East Carolinas of the world and, you know, the college of Charleston. Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're at Tennessee, of course you think you're going to get paid, because I want to be recruited by Tennessee, even from a third-string offensive lineman. But the fact that every one of these kids is thinking that's what their future may entail. We're going to get to all these calls real quick. Example of a guy we know, our buddy Claude, who helped get us to you. Give us an example of a kid that all of a sudden you're able to say, here, there's an opportunity for you that would not have existed. He's a cross-country athlete.
Yeah, he's got a very talented son, Alex, who's got a huge potential and upside to him. A smart young man, great work ethics, committed to his sport, loves it, he's passionate. And we took that passion, his results, and literally plugged him into.
He's a runner, right?
Cross-country and track runner.
So how do you find kids who are runners? How do they?
Well, the way that we've operated, you know, we've been at this for 14 years. It's become purely a referral-based business. Other families we work with have been really grateful and appreciative of what we've done for their sons and daughters, and they're sharing with other families and their community and relatives.
One good experience will get it around a high school atmosphere.
And one bad one will end you in a heartbeat.
So you now figure out that he's good enough, and now you start contacting schools?
Yeah, we take all that he's done, his PRs, his best times in his events, his grades, his awards and honors, and we literally put him on the radar screen of every college coach in North America. And he literally has schools all over, colleges all over North America who are beginning to recruit him, introducing themselves, saying, hey, Alex, please consider us for your future plans.
Now, what is a guy who doesn't know you or know how to get that word out? You just have to hope that someone looks at times and travels around, there's enough research done?
Well, yes, and you know, I use a silly analogy, but when you're hungry, does food walk out of the cupboard and find you? No, I mean, if you're an athlete or a family who wants to play at the next level, you can't sit back and wait for them to find you. You have to be proactive.
And you want to control the process.
Well, you certainly do, because you're entrusting your son or daughter to a surrogate parent that you want to make sure their moral and ethical compass is in the right place as well.
Rashid in Atlanta, you're on 790 The Zone. Go ahead, Rashid.
Yes, I have a question. I have an 11-year-old son. He's been playing Pee Wee League since he was 8 years old. He's been on an all-star team since he started. He's about 5'2", almost 5'3". He's 145 pounds. When I put him on the team, he's normally the second or third fastest guy on the team. That includes the running backs as well. And I'm thinking, how realistic am I thinking that one day this kid can play for Georgia? Because I have an older son that plays football as well.
So this guy wants to know how realistic that kid's already earmarked for Georgia.
Well, I think at this juncture, you just need to be a little bit more patient, let time run its course. I mean, as an 11-year-old, his central nervous system is just starting to fully develop. Once he starts to get into the weight room and find out what he can do from that standpoint, most importantly, he has to be eligible. You know, I would really encourage him to put as much energy as he does into football, into the classroom, studying and preparing academically to get great grades, as he does probably watching NFL and college football.
Eric in Atlanta, you're on 790 The Zone. Go ahead, Eric. We are on with Mike Gilliam.
Yeah, appreciate the time here, Mike. I've got a rising sophomore daughter, and she started on the varsity tennis team, line one doubles, all A students in the advanced placement classes, does some volunteer work in the community. What sorts of things should I be trying to get kind of desire. So what would you say to a parent like myself?
Yeah, you're sitting in a really good situation. I mentioned the head count sports for men. The head count sports for women are basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, and tennis. So your daughter picked a good sport. There's
Because it's
potential.
Title IX, by the way.
If you have a female today playing any sport at the high school level, your chance of getting recruited, have a chance to earn some money are large. They're just, it's a great time to
Did
be
you
a
hear what he
female.
said too?
Yeah.
He doesn't think she has D1 desire. That's a really
That's a humble father, which I
right?
love about that. You know, and let me share this with the caller. We learned one of the greatest lessons in life way back in 3rd grade. Any number times 0 equals 0. When you rattled off the list of accomplishments and achievements and honors courses and playing #1 doubles, she's done all the right things. But if nobody knows about her, guess what she's going to get for that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Welcome to 3rd grade. That's why it's important you take a proactive approach. That's why we do what we do, is to help you navigate these recruiting waters and know where the possibilities
it
are.
makes a ton of sense. I hate to say it. Hey, Eric, is that helpful?
Yeah, very much so.
We'll put you on hold. We'll put you on hold and get some info from Mike as well. How do people get in touch with you? Because I really do believe that if you're not managing the business of trying to get your kids money or a scholarship or to the right place, then you're not being realistic in this day and age with so much competitiveness out there.
Yeah, no question. Well, admissions departments don't care what kind of money you do or you don't have. I mean, they're in the business of running education, and the price tag today is anywhere from 60 to 250 grand, depending on if you go public or private. It's taking kids today 5 years to graduate from college. So anything you can do to offset that price tag and to allow your son or daughter to come out of college as debt-free as possible is just intelligence.
So how do folks get in touch with you?
Phone number 770-645-6464. We have a website, which is athleticopportunities.com.
Way to score that site, brother. Athleticopportunities.com. 770-645-6464. 770-645-6464. My kid plays 4A football. He's a really good offensive lineman. He's playing in Georgia at a very competitive level. He's not getting noticed. What has to happen for a kid like that?
Yeah, once again, he needs to get on the radar screen. First of all, he needs to make sure he's working on his footwork. Very, very important. I mean, great place. College coaches love to recruit football players on a basketball court.
Right.
I mean, he should be buying a jump rope or doing anything where he can develop athleticism. But the bottom line is, linemen, those who don't, play the high-profile positions, tend to get overlooked. It's harder.
What about, I got to hire my kid a batting coach. I got to hire my kid an individual trainer. I got to hire all that stuff. Is that stuff really critical?
Well, if you have the disposable income and the time and the inclination, and you think that's a good value investment, certainly. It can't hurt. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing something positive to help your overall abilities,
Move him forward.
it's a good move, yeah.
404-233-7979. If you want to get one more question into Mike, we can do that. It really is a fascinating process. Now, my kid is 6 weeks old. Robert's my only son I have.
Right.
What do I need to be doing with him at 6 weeks? I mean, what is there a certain training I can be working with him on? I mean, right now we're just in the bottle feeding.
You might want to get him to stop pissing his pants. College coaches really frown on just
Hey, by the
crapping
way,
yourself.
thanks for watching us on CSS. So right now you're telling me.
Feeling tired, dragged out,